Hey, what's up everyone? Mike here from The Art of Guitar. This video was about 3.5 months in the making. I wanted to wait until I was completely healed before I told anybody about it because I wanted to make sure I had the right amount of time laid out for how long it took me to heal. I was hoping I was going to heal from this. Something kind of scary happened to me about 3.5 months ago. I was trying to figure out the solo part in the song Rock and Roll, and I just looked at the video. I had uploaded it around December 15th, and that's when this first happened. But the night before I recorded the video, I sat with my laptop in my living room and I was trying to just hear every detail about this lick. And I was using my Apple earbuds or AirPods or whatever they're called. And I know the solo is panned all the way to the left. So what I did was I slowed down the YouTube video and I put all of the sound balance on my computer all the way to just my left ear because I thought that was going to be able to make me hear it better. But all it did was it took all the energy of the mix and moved it all the way to one side, which right away is not good for your hearing, just to put everything in one ear. And then I slowed it down as slow as 50%, sometimes even 25%, because I wanted to hear every little thing I could to figure it out. Well, doing that just causes this distorted sound, as you probably know if you ever slowed down a song before. All of that going on, I swear it was not loud in my ear. I didn't turn it up very loud because I was kind of worried about it being weird for my ears. But just the overexposure for the length of time for about an hour, really listening to every detail, hitting stop, going back, re-listening over and over and over again with that distorted, weird slowness, all in one ear, did really bad damage to my left ear. And the next day I woke up, and I'll never forget, it was just this weird ringing that started happening. And it wouldn't stop. Usually my ears will ring for like a couple seconds and then just fade away. And it's always a relief when it fades away. But this time it would not stop. And it was just like this kind of mid-range ringing, which is weird because usually it's a really high ringing that you experience. But it was a mid-range and it was just very consistent throughout the day. And it was kind of scary because it sort of drives you crazy because you just keep hearing it. No matter what you do, you can't stop it. You know, obviously you can't cover your ears or anything to hide from it. And that night was rough because I barely got any sleep. I was just laying there listening to it, thinking, what did I do? You know, I heard somebody say before that the ringing you hear in your ears after loud music is like the little hairs in your ears dying because they were overexposed to whatever. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but either way, it was freaky. And so a couple nights of no sleep, and then a really scary thing happened. I woke up and I just felt like a numbness to my ear. If you tap on your ear like this, it kind of sounds like when you touch a speaker or a microphone. It's got that kind of loud sound sensation, and you could sort of like feel it. Well, I couldn't feel anything. My left ear was completely numb and dead. So there's actually a few nights where I resigned to the idea of being deaf in one ear. And I thought that's so strange that it wasn't from loud music. Okay, so that night I woke up after I already thought I went deaf in that ear. And another weird thing started happening. Every time I would talk, I would hear this lower voice talking at the same time. And it sounded like Darth Vader was speaking every word that I was saying at the same time. And then I went to go play guitar that day. And, you know, I gave my ears a rest for as long as I could. And as I played the guitar, I would hear two notes at once. So it was like I always had a harmonizer on. Somebody would talk to me and I would hear that sound. And even when I would talk, I would hear that sound back. So my voice was constantly being harmonized. This was bad timing, well, for any time, but because we had a show coming up on New Year's Eve. And I had to tell my band, I don't know if I can even practice because any loud sounds are kind of freaking me out. And I hear this double sound happening. And so we ended up having band practice, but I had to wear earplugs plus these drum mufflers, muffle headphones that you put on. They're big and blue. And basically it cut out all the sound and I could barely hear the band. And I had to play along and get ready for New Year's. So it was kind of one of those things where I just had to go through with it. And afterwards, the ringing came back in my ears. So I thought I was back to square one. So I didn't know what to expect. I drove all the way to our show on New Year's Eve. And on the way, I listened very quietly to Whitesnake. It was on my phone. And I remember the beginning of Still of the Night. David Coverdale was singing the beginning, and I could hear that harmony happening. I'm like, oh, my ear is no better. You know, it had been like half a month, and it was still just as bad. At least I wasn't deaf, though. So I got to the show, got through it, but every time the drummer would hit his kick drum or snare, it felt like somebody was like pushing their finger into my eardrum. It was really painful. So I got through that, and then I knew I had a couple weeks off after that so I could relax a little bit. But it didn't actually start healing until a couple months after New Year's. So it would get a little better, and then I would have a show and I'd be back down a little ways. So it was like taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back each time. And there was a time where my ear suddenly got really sensitive. And every time somebody would say anything, it would sound like they were shouting in my ear. And I think that was all a process. My ear was trying to figure out that, what's normal again. And it was a really scary process. Being a musician, losing half your hearing is kind of scary, of course, for anybody. But as a musician, I was honestly wondering if I could ever play a live show again. But I'm happy to say after 3.5 months, now it's the end of March, I played a show a couple days ago, and it was the first time I didn't have any pain in my ear as I was playing. And I did wear an earplug, but I didn't have to push it all the way in, touching my brain. And now when I talk or hear music or anything, I don't hear any harmonies going on. So I think my ear finally balanced itself out, and I think I'm ready to go from here. I can consider myself probably 95 to maybe 100% cured, but I know I did do damage, so I can't say I'm back to where I was before all this happened. Maybe a little less hearing in that ear, but I'm just glad that it's where it's at now, and if it gets any better, that's just a bonus in my opinion. So just a cautionary tale for anybody who likes to transcribe music parts and they listen with earbuds or whatever over and over again to one part. Maybe they slow it down and listen to it. Be very careful, keep it at a very low volume, and never put all the sound over to one side, because that's just too much pressure, too much information for your ear to handle. And I've never had hearing problems before this, so I was taking it very seriously, and I still do. So I don't want that to happen to anybody, so hopefully that helps you out. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it'll protect your ears in the future if you take my advice, and we'll catch you soon. Okay, thanks.